I've written 3 novels in the last 3 years. I did it while working full time, being married, hanging out with friends, and doing lots of other hobbies, basically living a full life. No isolation, no all nighters, no quitting my job. I basically just did it with some strategy, consistency, and a little bit of obsession from time to time. Today, I'm going to break down exactly how I do it and how I think you can create something like this to work for your life. Something that actually fits into your life and doesn't burn you out. And if you stay to the end of the video, I'll show you my last entire year of writing, month to month, my word count, to prove to you that something like this works. Hey, my name is Colby. I am a fantasy and science fiction writer who aspires to publish a book one day. I think as aspiring authors, we often picture writers as people who wake up and get their cup of coffee and then write for hours. Sometimes they even get off of work and then they write for hours. That's really just not realistic for most people. We have jobs, responsibilities, families, and other things that demand our attention and should get our attention. Those things make life great. But the truth is, you don't need unlimited time to write books. You just need to use your time intentionally. When I break this down, there are essentially 5 habits that I've managed to create in my life that make this possible. So I'm going to share them with you. Now, I want to be very clear. I am not saying that I want you to emulate my life. I promise you, my exact method isn't going to work for you. Maybe in some rare circumstances for you out there, it will. But these habits aren't exact things. You need to wake up at this time every day. It's more of these ideas that I've morphed to fit into my life. So let's do it. Number 1 is I made writing a system, not a mood. What do I mean by that? Inspiration can hit at any moment. That's the truth. I do think that you can create more inspiration than we tend to think ourselves, and I talk about that in other videos on the channel. But when it hits, it does feel like a mood. You feel inspired, you feel vigorous, you feel excited, but it doesn't always have to be that way. In fact, most of the time it's not. I schedule writing like it's actual work appointments. So I have blocks in my schedule. It's usually, for me, in my life right now, it's in the mornings before I go to my full-time job. But I treat them like a job when those times hit. I'm showing up, I'm clocking in, I'm doing the work, and then I clock out and I leave. But showing up for those is what keeps that momentum going forward, and it's what actually makes the book happen over time. If I just waited for that inspiration, for that mood, it would take me forever to finish books. Like I said, I've written 3 in the last 3 years. I probably would have written 1 in the last 3 years combined if I didn't treat it like a system. Number 2 is I track my progress. For me, that looks like word count, but that's not the only thing either. Word count, though, specifically, I have a spreadsheet that I track my words. I don't write every single day, but when I do write, I go in there and I plug in the number for the day. And I have word count goals that I'm trying to hit for the year. So I see my number getting closer to that over the year. I think that gamifies it. It works really well for my personal psychology to get me motivated and excited to keep pushing towards that goal. But word count isn't the only thing I track. I create usually about 5 goals for the whole year that I want to hit, the big goals for the year, and then I break those down over the year and make them more achievable. So tracking progress is how you're going to notice the progress. If you don't track it, you won't realize how much you're progressing, and you don't get to feel those wins as you're going. And I think feeling those is a huge component to writing consistently, especially when you're a busy person. Number 3 is I protect my energy and my time to the best of my ability. So I'm a physical therapist, but I'm a traveling physical therapist. So I move states about every 6 months. Each time that happens, I have to completely revamp my routine because circumstances change when I move states, surprisingly. But there's always one thing I'm looking for when I get established at that new place. What time of the day or what time of the week works best for my current routine that I can schedule in writing? Currently, I live in Alaska. I'm working here. The best time for me is before work. I start work at either 8, 8:30, or 9. I've found that if I get up at 6, that gives me at least an hour of undisturbed work that I can do. Now, I'm not doing that every single day because, like I said, I'm also protecting my energy. I know if I try to do that every day, I'm going to burn out, or I'm going to have a day where I just crash and I'm exhausted. and then it puts me back several days. And you need to find the times in your week that work best for you. Is it when the kids go to bed? Is it before the kids wake up? Is it during your lunch hour if you have a longer break? Figure out what works for you, but protect those. Treat them like they're very important to you, which they should be, and use them. But like I said, it's also energy levels. Currently, if I tried to write after work, I would be drained. All I want to do is read a book in bed. If I tried to save writing for that time, I wouldn't be respecting myself and I just wouldn't be able to get it done. Now, I know that's not a luxury for everyone. Some people are even more strained for time than I am. But I am willing to bet if you work to communicate with your family or figure out ways to get some of that time back for yourself, you can make it happen. Number 4 is I let life in and I reject the grind mindset. People who know me probably think that I love the grind culture because I'm always doing something, pursuing something. I have a lot of side hobbies. Writing is a major one. But that being said, I also do a lot of super fun things. Like I go on hikes a lot. I go on bike rides. It's winter here now, so we've been doing some skiing and skating and stuff like that. I let life happen because those things are what make life special. I love writing. I genuinely love writing. I feel very connected to myself and the world when I'm writing a book. But at the same time, the things that happen outside of the pages are equally, if not more important. The relationships, the memories I'm building, also, those things create experiences for me to pull from when I'm creating characters or creating relationships in books. Let life in. If you're just isolating yourself, it's not going to work very well. If you are consistently choosing to write over spending time with the people you love and that love you, maybe it's time to reevaluate how you're divvying up that time. Number 5, I aim for progress, not perfection. I will never be perfect. I could revise a book forever and it would still never be perfect. But what I can achieve is progress over time. I know I can. I've proven it. I have concrete evidence because I track it, like I mentioned earlier. So I'm focusing on that. I'm turning off that part of my brain that wants to constantly edit and tweak sentences, and I'm just putting words onto the page. It can be hard sometimes, but if you can show yourself that the progress is what matters, journey before destination, for any of you Stormlight fans out there, it is crucial. So what does this look like for me in practice? Well, it depends. Some weeks I write more than others. Like for example, this week I allocated 4 of those 5 work days towards writing. Other weeks I only do 2. Some weeks I don't do any at all. I tend to either schedule week by week or I'll schedule an entire month. Depends on how life is demanding. But I make it work that I am scheduling in these and also living my life and enjoying it. And every few days, I'll go to my spreadsheet and I'll put in my word counts so I can see that progress over time. But most importantly, I give myself grace if I go a week or 2 with writing 0 words. Because life happens. But that rhythm is what's been keeping me writing 3 novels in 3 years. But hey, like I promised, I was going to show you guys this last year of writing, the months that looked good, the months that didn't, the consistency over time to show you that this is possible and I've proven it. So this is my spreadsheet. Over here on the left, it has the months, and every time I put in word count for a day, it adjusts it over here. So you can see this entire year, I've had some months where I didn't write as much, and I had other months where I wrote a ton. But over time, I average somewhere around 20,000 words per month, which for someone who works full-time and has family and friends and does a lot of things, I think that's pretty darn good. Now, this includes revisions. This isn't like purely new words only. So in this year, I've written 1 full novel, revised that entire novel, and then I've written about half of another one. So that's a pretty good year. And I wasn't pushing myself like crazy. I was just making it happen with those 5 habits that I talked about. Now, here's what I think is important to see. If you look at the actual months, if you break them down, let's look at January. I had a streak of, 2 weeks where I wrote nothing. But then if you look at February, I had this month where I only had like 7 or 8 days total that I didn't write. And it kind of varied month to month, but there were several times where I had strings of days that were 0 words. And that's okay, because that's how life works. But this shows that that consistency over time is what makes things happen. But what I think this shows is you don't need to quit your job. You don't need to cut out your friends. You don't need to make extreme sacrifices. But you do need to respect your time, your energy. You need to track your progress. You need to build habits that can make it sustainable while still having a life that you love and meaningful relationships that matter to you. And I'm not special. I don't have some secret formula. I mean, I'm talking about these habits, but this isn't like some secret sauce that's going to suddenly make you successful in your writing and write a ton. This is just, I'm just a normal guy living my life and trying to help you guys out too. So if I can do it, I know you can do it too. Okay, guys, that's it for the video. If you felt like this helped or gave you some substance, subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting plenty of things like this on the channel, some that are purely inspirational, some that are practical, and some that are about productivity and just the writing lifestyle as an aspiring author. So if you want to stick around, I'd love to have you here. But hey, in the meantime, keep writing.